it's Jordana Bryant. I'm so happy that you found my new podcast, New Friends. I wanted to create a space where we could talk about things that I feel like people our age don't really talk about. My hope is that by us kind of coming on here and talking about some of those things, that you would feel like you can have those conversations with the people in your life. I am going to be bringing on a bunch of guests. I'll also be doing some episodes that are just me answering questions. So please share your questions. Leave them in the comments. DM me on Instagram. I would love to answer as many as I can. And I really hope you'll stick with me through this journey. And thank you so much for checking this out. I can't wait to join you in the next episode. Welcome back to another episode of New Friends. I'm Jordana Bryant, and today we have a very special guest, Lydia Sutherland, artist, writer, extraordinaire, friend. I mean, everything, basically. What can't she do?
I'm going to tear up. Stop it.
Thank you for being on, Lydia.
Thank you for having me.
So I was trying to remember how we met, and I think it was a session, and I don't want to call it out, but I think it was a session that we had at UMPG.
Yeah.
Which is like Universal Music Publishing Group. And that song, I love the song that we wrote. And it took us like how many months to get the demo back from the producer? 9 months.
Yeah. But you know what? It came in and it sounded like a full, final production.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, I mean, clearly did something right on it.
Like we could send it to DSP right now and it would slay.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That was such a fun session.
It was.
And then we wrote like a handful of times after that before we wrote Miles Don't Matter.
Yeah, I think so.
Who else did we write with? We wrote with him, then we brought in Alex Angelo, right? And then we brought in Aaron
Pollock, and then my boyfriend. He slays. And yeah, I can't remember.
Are those the only combos that we've done? I feel like we've done more.
Oh, Forrest Finn.
Yes, we did a few with Forrest. Forrest is awesome.
I'm trying to think. Every time someone asks me who are your favorite writers? Who do you write with? I'm like, I don't know.
I'm like,
who do you write with?
My calendar. Why are you asking me that?
But yeah, I think those combos.
Which I always love writing with you.
I
feel
love
like you have
writing
such a unique style.
I don't even think you know this, but before we ever met, you were actually on my when a new writer signs a deal. You obviously know this, but they put a list together of people they want to write with, and you were on mine.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy.
And I kept bugging my publisher. I was like, "Are you gonna book this right? Because I love your music." And I was like, "I think I'm a good fit to write it. Okay, so please put me in the room."
I do remember that. The girl who was booking my calendar at the time had said that you wanted to write with me, and
big fan.
There weren't a lot of people who were saying, "Oh, I want to write with you." And so I was like, "Wait, she wants to write with me? Oh my gosh!" Because I also then when she said that, I took a look at your stuff and I was like, "Wait, these are such good songs."
I remember I have this really annoying playlist that my boyfriend actually laughs all the time because I only listen to the same 10 songs all the time, and I don't know why. But "Penniless and Broke" was one of those songs on my playlist at the time, and I was like, I need to write with her.
Thank you are so sweet. Well, I feel like you have such a unique perspective on the industry because you were an artist and were also a songwriter at the time too, but now you've kind of switched to focusing just on songwriting.
I have.
Do you want to talk about what that switch was like and how it was, what you kind of think the pros and cons of being an artist versus a writer are, and what kind of ultimately made you choose to stick with the writing?
Yeah, well, honestly, it was a really hard realization. I have been singing my whole life, and I'm from such a small town. So I don't know. I never thought I'd make singing a career, writing a career. All I knew about the music industry is that singers existed, and I loved to sing. And the way that I got into music was at 16 years old or 15, 16. I'd go into the music room during lunch. I didn't have a lot of friends, and I was just going through a ton of struggles at the time. And so I'd go to the music room and I taught myself how to play piano during lunchtime. And then I started writing the songs that I needed to hear because I couldn't find songs to relate to at the time. And so that's kind of how I got into songwriting. And then naturally, I started playing them out at the talent show. And then I started doing singing contests around Quebec and Canada, which is where I'm from. Fun fact. But anyways, so I started doing that, and I thought I wanted to be a singer because that's all I knew about the industry.
Yeah.
But then I started doing the back and forth Nashville trips. And I noticed like people were like DMing me being like, I love your style. Like, I'd love if we could write. And um, I, at the time I was like, yeah, like, why not? It was just for fun, right? Like I wasn't making money or anything. And then people, after I started writing with them, they were cutting the songs, like putting them out. And I was like, wait, that was kind of fun. Like in
Yeah.
some ways, like even more fun. Because I got to help bring like other people's stories to life with my own perspective also. So I think like the more that went on, the more I realized that I was just like a songwriter. Like I've always been a songwriter first. I always
Mm-hmm.
felt most connected to that process. But um, I started, I signed a record deal and I signed a management deal and I signed with an agency, and I started playing shows.
Go
And
Lydia.
go Lydia. But that's like when I realized, like, I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so much more that goes into being an artist that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Like artists, to me, I have like the most respect for artists because they're truly built different. Like it's a whole different grind. Like, you spend like 20-hour travel days to go play a 30-minute set for what, like 50 people. And it's just like, then you're back to it and do it over and over again. And I think like that's when I realized, like when I started playing the shows, I was like crying backstage and I was like, oh
Wow.
my gosh, can we get this over with?
Mm-hmm.
For shows
From the nerves?
yeah, from the nerves. And also like I talk about this a lot in my music that I have released as an artist, but like I struggled with like body dysmorphia and like eating disorders, like, and I have from a very young age. And like I've lost a lot of weight and I gained a lot of weight and I lost it again. And it's just like going on stage and like having like people stare at me and
Yeah.
video me was just such a weird feeling
Mm-hmm.
for me. And like seeing the videos after would literally make me sick.
Yeah.
Like I had to like make a rule eventually. And I was just like, I'm not going to look at the videos and I'm not even going to repost them, which like you should as a new artist. But I was just like, this is just not worth it to me.
Yeah.
And it was just like being an artist was taking the biggest toll on my mental health. Like I just thought that I was a very unhappy and sad and insecure person, but turns out I was just an artist.
You were just in the wrong
It's
profession.
brutal, but like it's true. So I think that's when I noticed that I maybe was gravitating more towards songwriting. I love the behind the scenes and I love the realness and I love meeting artists and connecting with them. So
I commend you so much for being able to be like that vulnerable, because I think that not a lot of people really talk about like the aspect of being an artist where it does really take a toll on like your body image, especially when you struggle with that beforehand. I feel like like I don't know, I mean I totally feel what you're saying about like seeing videos of myself back or photos. Like I struggle with photo shoots so much because like I feel such pressure beforehand to like okay, like I have a photo shoot in 2 weeks coming up, like no, I can't have this food, like I need to, look my best in it. And then looking at the photos back, like it's like
torture.
And like I mean because I also struggled with eating disorders, and like when I would have like therapy sessions, we would go through the photos and look at it and, try to like, okay, what am I focusing on? Like, okay, focus on something else. But it's, focus on like the joy that you exude in this photo. But I feel like it's so easy to just like look at something and then
it is
like focus in on, oh, wow, like my arm looks really big there, or I don't like how my thighs look there, or like whatever, like I have a double chin there. Like it's hard when you're like on camera all the time.
Yeah.
And I think social media is like another aspect of that, of like regardless of whether people are saying things about you or not, like I don't know, I feel like it's uncomfortable when you're posting yourself constantly.
Yeah, I think like another part about the industry that a lot of people don't know, and I don't know if you resonate with this, but at the time, like I was being told what to wear and like how to look, and like I don't dress like an artist. I don't, like all these things, and like you have a stylist, which is like so cool and so fancy, and like all, it's kind of it's fun.
It is.
But then like you get there and half of the clothes they pick, because sure, they have your sizes, but they don't know your body type like you know it. So you get there and you try on half of the things and basically none of it fits.
Yeah.
Like I remember going home after some of those photo shoots or like fittings, and I'd just be like sobbing, being like, okay, the pictures are going to be horrible. None of this fits. Like it's not my style. I don't even know what my style is anymore because everyone's telling you should sound like this. You should look like this. You should do this and say this and don't say that. And it's like, you're almost like you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Anymore. And then obviously you bring social media into that and you see everyone else, and socials are just a highlight reel. People don't really show you, them crying in the bathroom after a fitting, but like.
Totally. And I think that's so real. Like, I mean, I am someone who hates shopping for myself anyway, because I hate trying things on in a fitting room and looking at myself and like, or even just like trying on the size that I want to really fit in and being like, oh, that doesn't fit. And I think that styling sessions make that even worse, because you're right, like your stylist doesn't necessarily know your body type when you're first working with them, and to have to, in front of someone else, try on thing after thing that doesn't fit or that just doesn't make you feel good is like, it's really, I don't know, it is like a really disheartening process.
Yeah.
And I feel like on social media too, it's like all it would take for me was like one person commenting on a live stream being like, oh, like you're cute, but like you need to lose some weight.
Yeah.
It would just like send me spiraling, because I felt like my image was like, my success was dependent on my image, and my weight was part of my image.
Yeah, which is how like, some comments will make you feel and some people in the industry will make you feel. But, when you really think of it, like fans are normal. Like they're just like everyday humans like you and me that look in the mirror and sometimes hate their stomach or like, don't like the way they look or whatever it is. And the last thing that they want to look up to is someone who's like picture perfect, who's so clean cut and has everything together, because like, I remember like that's what broke me as a kid.
Yeah.
That's what, made me insecure. That it's because everyone was portraying, that everyone was pretty and had perfect lives and, the perfect blonde hair and blue eyes. And that's what the guys sang about. And like, it was just like, all I was fed, and I was just like, well, there must be something wrong with me, which honestly, no. Like, there's nothing wrong with...
Nothing is wrong with you.
No, nothing is wrong with you either. And it's just like an idea that we put inside our minds. And I think fans need more realness. And we're seeing that now. Like, we're seeing it with like these vulnerable artists that are putting their hearts out there. And like, like, I always admired Billie Eilish. Like she'd just go up on stage in like these baggy clothes and like just sang her truth. And like, I think that's why her lyrics and her vocals and everything like resonated so much with people, because she felt normal. Like she felt like almost like, I don't know, a friend I was listening, sing about whatever I was going through as well. So I don't know. I think like we overthink it because of what we're fed within the industry. But I think like from an outside perspective, like fans admire someone who's normal and real.
I think that's so true. I think that like seeing someone who feels like unreachable almost kind of makes you feel worse. Or at least for me, it made me feel worse about myself.
Me too.
Because I was like, wow, so I will never look like that.
Yeah.
And that's what is successful. Like that's what successful looks like. That's what pretty looks like, Yeah. I also like would love to know how you feel like the social media like numbers aspect of it affects your self-worth, because I feel like after lots of time in therapy that I think that when I moved to Nashville, which is really when I started struggling with an eating disorder, I was so I cared so much about being successful.
Yeah.
And every morning I would wake up and I would look at my Instagram numbers, my followers, my views, and then I would look at my TikTok numbers, then I would look at my YouTube numbers.
Yeah.
And when I wasn't getting enough validation through that, I started switching to like every morning I would religiously weigh myself. And it was like so much to the point where like I wouldn't want to drink water before I weighed myself because then that would make the scale go up, and I would like and I would like, you know, like try to go to the bathroom before I weigh myself and like not eat before I like, and it was just, I was so craving that numerical validation that would tell me that I was making progress.
Yeah, no, I was the same. I also think like the label aspect of it, you know, sitting every day and them sending you your numbers was very interesting, like social numbers, because at the end of the day, no one is gonna put more work into you than you will. Like you can have a big fat record deal, a big fat publishing deal, like all these things, but at the end of the day, like you have to fight for yourself because you're just another artist on their roster. And I remember like getting my TikTok numbers. So when I first signed my record deal, I had one song go viral, and it was a very, very pop song. And I was a country pop artist, but this was like straight pop. And I was like genuinely very confused at like what I was going to do branding wise with this. I didn't know, like I was just teasing a song, right? And this song went super viral. Multiple teams made me wait to release it. Everyone was telling me, wait for the right time, wait for the right pictures. You need this behind it. You need that. I waited a whole year before releasing it. No one streamed the freaking song. When I mean, it streamed, but like it,
no, but it didn't. It lost.
It got 100K, and I had like maybe like 30 videos with over like 60K likes, which like should have translated in some way. But I waited so long, and that was like absolute torture. Because I was like, okay, so this song's not working. Now I need to rinse, repeat, and do it again with the next song, right? And then the songs weren't streaming, and they weren't doing anything on TikTok. And I was getting the feedback like, well, turns out it's not working. Like I thought it'd be easier. Well, what do you mean you thought it'd be easier? Like all you're relying on is me posting this video, fingers crossed that it hits people's algorithm, which you know, your guess is as good as mine at what's going to take off at this point. But it was just like never ending.
And I think that like when you're constantly posting your songs, like for me, it was, okay, well, like I can't let myself believe that the reason why this isn't taking off is because of the song isn't good enough.
Yeah.
Because that would be so crushing. So then therefore, the only other explanation must be that I don't look good enough in the video.
Yeah.
Which is an equally crushing thought, but I feel like it's kind
even
of
worse in some ways,
right?
Honestly.
It's like if it's a bad song, I can write another, but if it's because of me, because I'm not like someone people want to watch, or because I don't look good enough, that probably says more about like yourself as a person, and that's probably more crushing. But it's hard when you're like, it's all on you to make it work, and like it's a visual platform that you're putting yourself out there, you're putting your writing out there, your thoughts out there, like how you look out there.
Which the last thing that like people should care about when they're listening to a song, like, is what someone looks like. And I don't even think that people think about it really.
I don't think they do. And I think that maybe it's like us searching for a reason, because truthfully, a lot of it is so like, who knows why a video works or doesn't. Like, it's this algorithm, like mysterious thing. But like, I think that for someone like me who likes structure and reason, like I would be like searching for an answer. Like there must be like, if this, then that. Like if it's not doing well, then it's because of this.
I'm also a very factual person. So like I always go off of facts and like stats as well, because I'm like, okay, well, this video I filmed in this lighting in this car, and I was doing this, and like the tree was moving in the background.
I'm like, I must do that.
Never ending. And it's like, well, in this one there was another, like one of my pretty friends with me. Did it take off? Because it's just like, it's always like a question. And honestly, like after like sitting back and not doing the artist thing, I'm just noticing like everyone's kind of just going with it. Everyone like just has their fingers crossed. Like there's no secret recipe. Like it's actually scary. Like, I don't know where it's going. Like, you know, when you start seeing like artists like Shania Twain teasing songs on TikTok and stuff like that, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, you're like, wait, they
Yeah.
have to post TikToks?
Like their
What
teams
is
are like
happening?
telling them like 30 times a day, don't forget to upload the
Imagine
promo vid. Like,
Shania
what?
Twain's manager being like, Shania, like, you need to post that TikTok.
Yeah. But
Like,
it's a
what?
thing. Like, I
It
remember
is a
seeing
thing.
her videos and I was like, okay, same boat.
Mhm. Twins.
Yeah.
But I think it also shows that, like, no one really knows what's going to work
No.
today. And also, like, I think that to put it in perspective, a lot of times when I do look back at videos, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, maybe some of the videos that took off are
Yeah.
ones where, like, I look really nice and I clearly put time into doing my hair and,
Yeah.
like, makeup and whatever. But, like, there's also videos that I look back at where I'm, like, crying in the car, like, singing a song.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, my hair is frizzy, like, I don't have any makeup on, like,
Yeah.
and I think that part of what connects is, like, the realness, because I
Yeah.
do think that, like, when I'm scrolling on social media, like, I don't necessarily want to see someone, like, who looks perfect. I want to hear someone, like, talk about what I'm feeling.
And you can
know?
tell what's staged too.
Yeah,
Like, even fans can
totally.
tell, like, people well, like, out of the industry, like, they comment it. They're like,
Mhm.
this isn't real. You're not
Yeah.
even singing right now. Like,
Yeah, they're,
stuff
like,
like that.
industry plants or
Yeah, like,
something,
they
like,
know. So it's like, might as
Yeah.
well, like, just do a bit of everything and whatever makes you feel good, and then just see what lands, and it will land.
Yeah.
If it's authentic and it's real to you, like, it will find its people. It's just a matter of time.
Totally.
Really.
And I think there's, like, a lot of good, like, obviously I just, hate it on social media for
Yeah.
15 minutes, but there
No,
is, like,
same.
there's a lot of great out there, and, like, I wouldn't still be
Mhm.
doing it if there weren't, like, genuinely super sweet people who,
Yeah.
like, I love the fact that we can, like, connect on social media.
It's an amazing platform.
But I think that, like, it's valid that it's definitely, like, there's negatives to it for sure. And,
Yeah.
like, ultimately it kind of has to be your decision of, like, is this worth it to me?
Yeah.
And also, like, some people, I think it doesn't, like, faze them being on camera every day
Yeah.
or, like, getting everyone's input on, like, you and, like, feeling like you're putting yourself out there as, like, I am the brand, like,
Yeah.
every day, and, like, getting feedback on basically yourself.
Yeah. Which is such an interesting thing
Yeah.
because most days you don't even know how you feel. So you're being told
Totally.
how you feel. It's just, you kind of have to pick your battles.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And I guess it is weird too when you're, like, working with teams of, like, you kind of are a product in
You are.
essence, like, which is such a weird thing when you're like, I'm selling myself. Like,
Yeah.
people are, like, investing because they believe in me, or they're
Yeah.
choosing not to be part of the team because they don't believe in me. Like,
Yeah.
it's a weird, like, industry, and I think it forces you to really be confident in yourself and to hone in on the fact that, like, if you're being authentic and you're, like, staying true to yourself, that's when
Mhm.
you're gonna win. And, like, you can't really take other people's advice, like, all the time
Yeah.
if it doesn't feel true to yourself, I guess.
Yeah. Well, then you just become a product. And that's when it becomes
Yeah.
an issue where you become everything we've already seen
Mm-hmm.
because they're basically just using, the rinse repeat solution of what they've seen work.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's your call. If you take the longer way there, it takes longer, but it's authentic, it's real, it's you. Like, you don't create a legacy act overnight. That's
Yeah.
the way that I see it. So it's like, pick your battles, what
Mm-hmm.
matters the most to you, and the right team and people and fans will come and find you.
Yep, that's so true. That's
Yeah.
so true. And so you moved to Nashville. How long ago was it? Like 3 years?
2.5
years ago?
Yeah, kind of.
And you moved with your boyfriend.
I did.
I feel like you guys are such a good example of, like, how it can work to date someone in music, because I think that most people are, like, very absolutely no or absolutely yes to
Yeah.
it, because in some ways, like, it's really hard because you work together, like, you guys write together a lot, like, when you go out, like, you all know the same people, so, like, if there were to be a breakup, it's, like, really messy. And also for, like, people who are artists, a lot of the time it's, like, you're on the road and you're apart from each other. And then some people are, like, the only person who could get what I'm doing is someone else who is in music.
Yeah.
how do you feel like, I mean, obviously you think like, obviously it's like worked so well for you guys, but how do you think like, why do you think for some people it really doesn't work when you're dating someone in music? And why do you think it's like, obviously the thing that you chose?
Yeah, well, I think the base of any good relationship, like in it and out of music, is a friendship. Like, you have to be friends with your partner. Like, to me, like, Aaron and I were best friends for 2 years before dating. So, like,
so cute.
That was like the start of it. And we met in a writing session over Zoom. He was like one of my first ever co-writes during the pandemic that my manager at the time had set up. And she was just like, you have to meet this guy. Like, I think he'd write great songs for your project. And so that's how we met. We were only us two writing on Zoom, and we clicked really, really quick. I thought he was really cute. And I was just like, obviously he's a musician too. So that makes him even more attractive.
There's something so cute about a guy who plays guitar.
Yeah. Like, and also he had a bunch of tattoos. I was like, he looks like he could be in One Direction.
You're like, hello, husband?
No, literally. And so that's kind of how we met. And I think like it gradually got there. Yeah. And obviously like I had a crush on him. He had a crush on me at the start. And like, we had tried, but then like we got scared, and like he was just like, you know, like we have such a good working relationship and we're such good friends. Like, I'm just not sure. And he had just gotten out of something, and you know, it was just like this whole thing. And I trusted timing because I was just like, it is, you know, what it is right now. But I think the reason that it works for us is we are just such fans of each other, and like we're each other's champions. And that's the way that it was from the start. Like way before Aaron and I started dating, like he went to bat for me. Like I was going through a lot of things like in the artist world. Like I was told I wasn't the greatest songwriter, and so I should cut outside songs. And I was about to, but then I met Aaron, and he was like, wait, you're actually a great songwriter. Yeah. Like, let's write songs until they love some of your songs. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And like right off the bat, like he was a fan and he believed in me. And that's still what he is now. Like I'll, you know, sometimes be nervous before, right? Even now, and I'll show him like a song start because I love coming in with like ideas for artists, and he like is just like there, and he's like, whoa, like that's so good. That's so and he's sweet. Just like such a fan. So I think it works because we're fans of each other, and like we uplift each other. It's not competitive one bit. I mean, like, you know, naturally, like you always compare yourself to others, and like, you know, it's inevitable, but at the end of the day, he's my biggest fan. I'm his biggest fan. And I think that's the base of it.
I love that.
And I think, you know, a lot of people in the industry get jealous and they do compare themselves. And I think that can deteriorate a relationship really quickly, because then your whole relationship becomes this, you know, like you're against each other instead of working as a team. Yeah. And truth is, if I do great things, you know, he comes with me. And if he does great things, I go with him. Yeah. Like, it's not a competition. Like, we uplift each other. We're there together. And yeah, I think that's the base of what works in a musical like relationship.
I think also, first of all, I mean, I love that. I think that's such a good answer of like, really just being like true like supporters of each other. And I think that like, when people get jealous of someone's success and they say, oh, I couldn't date someone in music because if they were successful, I would be jealous, or like it would just be weird if one of us was more successful. I think that's kind of like a character flaw that you should probably work on regardless of whether you're dating someone in music, because inevitably, if you're both working, one of you is going to be more successful like at a given time. And if you can't be like supportive of your partner crushing it, like that's not really like just a music thing. That's kind of like
it's a deeper insecurity.
That's a deeper issue we should look at. But I remember hearing a writer say like, thank goodness my wife isn't in music, because like if she got a #1 before me, like I just couldn't like be happy for her.
That's crazy to me.
That's insane. Like,
I don't even care if they're like my partner, my friend, or like my co-writer, like an acquaintance. Like I will be sending you like the biggest bouquet of flowers if you get a #1. Like it is so impressive. And like, we need to uplift each other. Like, it's not true. Like, we're not competitors. We're coworkers. Like, there's room for everyone in this industry. And if anyone told you otherwise, they were lying. They were scared. They're fine.
How many trillion people on like the planet? Trillion, right?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Billion?
Who's counting?
Okay, there's so many people that we can't even count.
Yeah.
All those people listen to music. Most of those people listen to music.
Yeah.
Like, you can find an audience for your songs. You can, like, it's not like the pie is only this big. And if you get some, that means, like, I'm getting less.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just, like, both work hard and, like, lift each other up.
Absolutely.
I think that you guys are such a great example of that. Aaron, like, every time I write with him, which I actually write coming up with him next week.
I love that.
Every time I write with him, he's like, yeah, Lydia is like doing this awesome thing today. Like, she has this like really cool song start that she's bringing in. And I'm like, what a good like example for like, he raises the bar. I'm like, that's what a boyfriend should do. They should be like, my girlfriend is like amazing and she's crushing it.
Yeah.
Which you are.
It's the bare minimum, I think, in a relationship. But, you know. Yeah.
Well, you know what? My standards have been lowered.
I know, but we're working on that.
We're working on it. We said no to oh my gosh, wait. Okay, segue for a second. Little story time.
Okay.
I was talking to this guy who's from LA, but he still comes back and forth because he lived here for a while.
Is he in music?
Yeah.
Oh, canceled. Okay. Right off the bat, I know this is not a good Okay.
He's a guitarist for
Okay.
And he was like, he kept talking about how he wanted to see me last time he was in town. Like, we were talking about making plans, and he was like, oh, well, like, I am busy with my friends until 10 p.m., but I can hang out after then if you're
That's
around.
crazy.
And I'm like, are you kidding me, sir? No, I'm not around.
You're not busy with your friends, by the way.
No,
that's plans. Like, you're choosing to be busy.
I know. I'm also like, what are the odds that he's probably just like on a date? And he's like, yeah, that'll be over by 10 p.m. Anyway, then like he spends like a month texting me, like DMing me all the things about how like he was so like bummed that he didn't get to see me last time and he wants to see me this time. And so he's like, oh, like, I'm like, well, I'm leaving for LA tomorrow. And he's like, oh, well, I'm in town. So like, you know, maybe we can hang out like this day. Monday, you're in town. Like, let's do it. And I was like, well, it depends. Like, what are you thinking? Because I was like, okay, if you want to see me, like, you have to have a plan.
Want to come on my podcast?
And he responds, and he's like, maybe make a fire and like drink wine at my place. And I was like, and I responded, I was like, it's almost summer. It's a little late for a fire. How about dinner?
Period.
And he was like, okay, like, yeah, like, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, cool. Why don't you pick a place? And then he like just like did not respond. And I guarantee he's going to text me like in a few hours and be like, oh, how about this? Or like, oh, it's like kind of late. Do you want to just, and I'm just like, what? Like, has the bare minimum been like dropped to that little that you think that you think I would agree to go out with you after you like, just literally put in zero effort?
Hearing my friends' dating stories in Nashville is absolutely wild. It sounds rough out there. We still need to find you a nice man. And we've talked about this.
We have, Lydia. Yeah. I feel like you're such a great sounding board. I feel like I come to you with the wildest stories.
And I love it.
Like, wow, so maybe don't see him again.
No, and I have so many, like, this is what I tell my girlfriends, like my single girlfriends. I'm like, I have so many nice guy friends that are also single, that are like also mortified at the dating scene. I'm like, there's got to be a match in there, right?
Like, there has to be.
I'm circling back on
Lydia,
this.
become matchmaker.
I will, honestly.
But also, as matchmaker, can you share some advice on how does one, as you have, go from friends to more than friends?
Oh my gosh.
The girls want to know.
There's like no like secret behind it. I think like if it's meant to be, this is so cheesy. If it's meant to be, it will be. Shout out Florida Georgia Line. But it will. I mean, like, you can't really convince someone into liking you back, but I think like, again, friendship is the base of any good relationship. If you have a good, healthy friendship right off the bat, green flag. And then like, I don't know, like, I think Aaron and I, like, we were just like each other's people. Like, it just like made sense. Like, I always thought of this like when we were just friends, but I was like, if he got a girlfriend, like, there's no way in hell that she would be comfortable with our like friendship or like our
That's an
relationship.
interesting way to look at it.
Yeah,
To
because I was
know
like,
whether like is there something more here or not?
yeah, like, I'm not like really gonna like, I'd step back obviously, but I was just like, also if I got a boyfriend, like, imagine like being someone's like call, like first call, like your 911 kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I was just like, I don't know. It's just like right off the bat, you can kind of tell if there is something there. But I think like don't force anything. Like just be yourself, and it's so cheese, but it's true.
No, that's true. That's
Like,
true.
don't try to impress. Like, don't go out of your way. Like, you know, if you have a crush on your friend, like, I'm like always like, just be honest. And maybe that's
Really?
because I've been in a relationship for like 3 years and I'm
And
a
it
loser
worked
now.
out.
But like, I just like,
Just say what's in your heart.
yeah, like, why are we like dancing around it? Like, the
No,
chase
that's
is kind of
true.
cute, like when you're 16, but like, I'm 26 at this point. Like, I'm not like gonna, you know, dance around it. And even at the time, like when Aaron and I started dating, I was like 22, 23,
Mhm.
whatever. And I was just like, I don't know, like it felt like too special to like just ignore, or like, I'll let him
Mhm.
text me first or whatever it was. Like, you
Yeah.
know, I just think like being honest, and if it's meant to get there, it will get there like naturally, and like it'll be such a beautiful thing once it happens, and you'll be thankful for like, you know, those years, months, whatever it is of friendship, because
It's just a foundation.
then you're dating your best friend. Like, what better feeling?
I love that. How do you feel like you pick up on the signs? Because sometimes I feel like it's confusing. You're like, wait, does this person like me, or do I just like them so much
Yeah.
that I'm like imagining that every
Yeah.
action that they're taking means that they like me?
Honestly, I don't even know how to answer that, because when I was in that situation, I was that. Like, I was like, wait, he texted twice.
It has an exclamation.
Yeah, it has like
Obviously,
a
he
happy
likes me.
face.
He used an emoji.
I don't know. I think like, I don't know. Like, it's so weird because like friendships and relationships are like such intimate relationships. Like, you know, friendship is like basically like intimacy without the kissing, you know? Like,
That's
it's
a
kind
great
of weird,
definition.
but it's like, you know,
We
like,
should add that to the like the Merriam-Webster.
I don't know, that might be a really weird thing to quote me on.
No, I agree with that.
But that's how I felt like when,
Yeah.
you know, Aaron and I were friends. Like, he was like my first call, and like the first like person I wanted to tell everything to, and like same to him, and like
Aw.
he helped me through stuff and I helped him through stuff, and like it was just like he was my best friend. Well, he still is, but like, you know, they're your best friend. And so, you know, eventually like you just kind of like, it kind of like builds to that place where you're like, well, I'd rather die than see you with somebody else,
Aw.
you know?
Yeah.
And so I think like you kind of pick up on the signs like the more it goes. But I honestly, like, now looking back, I was not reading into anything. I
Yeah.
was right. I just like, you can quote me on this. I was right, because at the time I was like, it's impossible. And all of my friends, like, I remember the Nashville trip I took before anything happened with Aaron and I, like, my friends were like, you've got to be kidding. Like, you fell asleep on FaceTime last night. And I was like, yeah, but we're friends. Like, I'd do that with you.
Really?
And they were like, yeah,
You're
but
lying.
you know? So turns out you might not be reading into things. It might just be the way it is. And if you are reading into things, then maybe they're giving you too much to work with. So
Yeah.
you should take a step back, because you're bound to get hurt if that person is giving you so much to work with. If
That's
that makes
true.
sense.
Yeah, I feel like if you think that there's a vibe there, there's
Yeah.
something that they're doing that like
That's
is
giving you
making
that.
you
Yeah.
think that. Yeah.
I think so.
That's I feel like really good advice.
Yeah.
I've never really had like a good guy friend.
Yeah.
So maybe that's also why I've never had like a good relationship.
Well,
or
honestly,
any relationship.
stop. No, but it's like, honestly, like, I've had like a lot of guy friends, but like never like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I remember when I was young, like, I'd have crushes like on all of my guy friends, because I was like, they're nice. Wow.
You're like,
Like,
wait,
the
they
bar is
actually
to the
listen to
ground.
me when I talk.
Yeah. But like, eventually, like, there's just a difference. Like,
Mhm.
you just know it. And Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't even know how it's supposed to happen. Like, I thought I'd like be single for the rest of my life because like Aaron's my first boyfriend.
Is he really?
Yeah. And like we started dating when I think I was 22.
Okay, that gives me hope. That gives me hope.
I mean, I don't know what it says about me.
No. Well, if it says something about you, then it says something about me
I was
too.
patient. It's giving patience.
It's giving patience.
But like, you know,
I love
like
that.
not everything has to happen like quick. There's no
that's
timeline
so true.
really.
That's so true. And you know what? I would rather like be waiting for the right person and then like your first boyfriend to be someone who you have such a strong relationship with.
Yeah.
Than to like have a bunch of like bad boyfriends who don't really treat you well.
Like,
or,
go on dates and live life.
Yeah,
and like,
totally.
you know, when you meet your person, you'll know because like you also need to have like some sort of like experience in the dating world to like know what you want and what you don't.
Yeah.
But you know, like that's when you know. Like you'll know after those experiences and like I think, you know, dating a friend is the greatest thing ever. I highly suggest.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
Well, talking about friendship, I feel like we have a really great friendship song that we wrote, Miles Don't Matter.
Yes.
Which came out on my EP. And I have to show you, but like some of the TikToks that I've been posting recently have been like starting to take off, which I'm really happy about because I love the song so much.
Me too.
But I think that like, I don't know. I feel like that song is such a great example of like when you just have your friends in a room and you're just like having fun.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when you write the best songs.
I agree. That day was really special to me. Literally, like, I think an hour of that was spent me chasing down gushers.
Wait, yes. And then also, what were those things that we were throwing?
Things that you throw. I don't even know. But anyways, Symphonic has these things you throw on a wall.
Clearly that red 40 got to us.
Yeah, it truly did in the best way possible.
We had a great time.
We did.
Were those the things that like stick on the wall?
Yeah. What are they
like
called?
Those hand things? Those like sticky hands?
No, it's like it was like almost like a tube.
Oh,
remember?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And they had like it would stick on the like,
Yeah, we're writing with Alex in a couple of weeks. We'll circle back and confirm what these things are.
We'll bring it to the pod next time.
They were actually really fun. But we were just like, I don't know, messing around, like just like walked out of the right while Alex was working.
Yeah.
And I'm just like what does this do?
You stay here. Keep doing that. We're going to take a break.
Yeah.
That was such a fun session. So I love that song. I'm so happy that it's out.
Me too.
And you also have a song that you wrote. Well, talking about like how it's so great when you write with your friends because it's just so natural. You have a song that just came out with one of your like best friends, Allie.
Yeah.
Which I love. It's such a good song.
Thank you. It's called Would Have Stayed. And that one was really special to me. Like those are songs that, I don't know, they mean the world to me because those kinds of songs are the reason I started songwriting. You know, Allie went through a breakup and I, you know, was first row there the whole time because she is my best friend. And like, it was so hard to see her go through it and like going through the motions and like, you know, coming to a bunch of realizations. And one day we were writing with Mitch Crago and she just walked in with this idea and I'd never heard it before. Like, thank God you left because damn, I would have stayed. And right off the bat, when she said it, I was like, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Like, you know, some people just don't leave. Some people settle. And I thought that song idea was so special. And it was really cool to be able to write it with her because like, there's nothing like writing with your friends. I mean, like they know you like the back of their hand. So like, you know, lines I was throwing out in that like they were just so authentic to her story. Like we didn't even that song's not fabricated. Like sadly,
you have been there for it, so you can kind of like come up with something. And she's like, yeah, that totally happened.
Yeah, and it's so honest. So like that kind of song, just like I don't know, is everything. And is so special to be a part of as a songwriter and also as a friend. Like that was the main thing. Like the night of the release, like or the day before the release, I was really anxious because I was like, oh my gosh, like is she anxious? Like is she scared to put this song out? Like, oh my gosh, like I want
how vulnerable it is.
Yeah, like I want everyone to come to Red Door. I want a big cake. I want like all the like I was so stressed and I was texting her and I was like, what do you want? Like like we need to make this special. And I don't know. I just love her so much and I believe in her so much as an artist. So that was a really like cool song to have cut and is just very full circle for me as a friend and as a writer.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
so beautiful. And I feel like when you're anxious for a song to come out as
Oh
a
my God,
writer,
yeah.
that you're like, wow, it's so real and like,
Yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
And those are probably like the best songs when you're like, wait, I'm actually kind of nervous to like
I know.
put this one out. And then you also have another song with Brandon Wisham coming out that I'm so excited to hear. I haven't even gotten a sneak peek, which I'm kind of
We'll send you.
that. Please.
We'll send you.
When does that one come out?
Oh my gosh, I think it's May 9th.
Okay, wait, perfect. Okay, the pod comes out May 6th.
Slay.
So, this episode might come out like a week later, 2 weeks later.
It'll be out or it'll be on the way.
Or it'll be OTW.
Yeah. I'm so excited about that song. I wrote it with Brandon and Sam Ellis, who's one of my favorite writers. And man, that session also was so fun because like Sam is like a crazy producer.
Really?
I mean, he's not a track guy. Like he's a track guy, but he's a producer.
Yeah.
Like he on the spot like was tracking like every instrument and like the song was becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And like honestly, as we were writing it, like I was so hyped. That song during that session, like I mean, like it was just so magical and it came together and it's like a banger. Like it's really cool and it's really cool for me too. Like I feel like naturally I write a lot of the cutesy like pop country girl songs, but that one's like a Luke Combs like like big, like it's a big song. It feels big. So I'm really excited. And also Brandon, I think, is very like authentic and just like a very, very good human. Like
I love that.
Hearing him talk in the beginning of the session and sometimes like I notice I love to like take a step back in sessions and just observe the artist and their element. And I could tell that he was like grateful to be there. And it almost like he was like, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it was like almost like he was like stunned that this was his life. If that makes sense. Like he was just like, whoa.
Like, wow, how did I ever get in the room with Lydia Sutherland? Like
more like Sam Ellis. I was an accessory, but it was just
he should have been thinking that.
But it was just like so cool and so like I don't know. And then when I heard he cut the song, I was just so excited. I mean, I believe in him. I just think he's so cool and he has a really awesome team behind him. And it's just, I don't know, I believe it and I'm invested in it. So that's a really exciting one for me.
That's so exciting. Yeah. What is that one called?
Better Than the Day. Better Than the Day.
Better Than the Day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I can't wait to hear it. I hope you'll send me a clip of it
before
it comes out.
Yes.
And for everyone else, you'll just have to listen when the song comes out.
You will.
But thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I had so much fun just like chatting. I feel like
me too.
I always love when it just feels like a conversation, you know?
Me too. I almost forgot the cameras were there, so I kind of blacked out for a minute. Yay. So thoughts and prayers. I said everything right.
No, you crushed it. Well, thank you so much for being on here. And y'all can check out Lydia's music. Do you also have you have a link in bio with your songs, right? Okay. I do. So what's your username? Lydia Sutherland is amazing.
Oh, Lydia Sutherland _ Thank you very much.
We'll consider changing it. Thank you so much for being on, Lydia. And thank y'all for watching this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow on Instagram for more episodes.